Hi, hello, good evening, my officers. Welcome to this daily editorial analysis with mains answer writing practice for UPSC CSE examination. So this is Nisha Nujumudeen, your educated Unacademy, an expert in Indian economy, current affairs, and MCQs. So if you see as a routine which we do in every single day, we have another set of beautiful editorial articles to be analyzed for the day. So this is a continuous course which will happen on a daily basis where we'll do a quick revision of the most important editorials from various subjects of the concerned day's newspaper from The Hindu with a 360-degree coverage of the concepts or the basics as well, and followed by one question or two questions where it will be a mains answer writing practice as well, because your prelims is over and now we have the mains examinations coming up. So then you need to practice yourself with regard to the mains answer writing also, taking into consideration that this mains answer writing has also been given to you. Clear? I hope everybody got the link as well. Is there anybody who never got the link? Am I audible and visible to you people? So by the way, did you all go through today's editorials? Yes. And can you see a pinned message that is, yes, Devarshini, that pinned message is actually the link of my Unacademy profile, which will enable you to get access to the plus class and free classes using my code Nisha IAS Live. Okay. You can just have a look into the pinned message that has been put up over there. Okay. Perfect. So I think people are slowly joining. Let them join. Perfect. So did you all go through today's editorials, guys? It is indeed very interesting to have a look into the editorials of the day actually, because you have so many interesting articles out there today. So normally we discuss, let's say, one or two articles, or let's say two or three, but today you have 3 to 4 articles on a row, which is pretty much interesting from environment, economy and all. So let's quickly have a look into those. So after that, I'll let you know regarding the Unacademy Plus subscriptions, regarding the various other special classes that I've been taking. So meanwhile, let me quickly take you to the today's sessions. So now if you see, as far as today is concerned, we'll be discussing the most important topics from the Hindu newspaper, exclusively from the editorial page. Okay. So 19th October is today, guys, and whatever you have seen in today's newspaper is what you're going to see here as well. So this is not just an analysis. As always, I keep telling you, we'll do a complete revision of the entire news pertaining to that particular editorial article by having a proper interengaging of them with the concepts as well, pertaining to whichever subject. Always a background study, or let's say a quick revision of that particular topic will give you in-depth knowledge of what you're studying, because that is very, very important. Don't you think so? Yes, it is. So if you see, we have 3 different articles today. Okay. From today's The Hindu newspaper in page number 6 and 7. You can just take the newspaper if you have the hard copy or the soft copy, whatever it is. You can see an article called a slippery slope, that is towards the side of your paper. Then Greenfield hopes, and third one talks about a shadow foreign policy for the very first time. So when you see articles like this, you'll be thinking that, okay, oh my goodness, what are they? What are they trying to tell us? Is it based on economy, or is it based on environment or some other perspective? So let me quickly take you in detail with regard to these articles. Are you all ready? Indeed, you should be. And by the way, did you all really go through the articles? Yes or no? Be honest, no kallatarams. Can't see your messages. Hold on. Yeah, now it is visible. Yes, yes, they were perfect. So here we go, guys. Let's quickly have a look into the very first topic of the day. It is based on slippery slope. So slippery slope doesn't mean that you're going to slip on a slope. It is something with regard to the environment, and now it is on the slippery perspective. So do you see such kind of article in the newspaper towards the end of your or let's say side of the paper? That is, to face heavy monsoons, the state must preserve the integrity of rivers and mountains. So based on the heavy monsoons, the rain, especially in the context of the state of Kerala, we can see the flood that is happening in my state now. So based on that and the other perspectives, this particular topic is being discussed. Clear? Because you see this heavy monsoon is causing a lot of distractions to the nature, to the economy, society as a whole. Even the livelihood of people is getting affected. Don't you think so? So on a holistic perspective, this particular article has been put across in the editorial analysis. Clear? So here we go. Why we studied this particular article, guys, from the category environment is now the monsoon, or let's say the retreating monsoon. Now because of that, what happened? It has resulted in a lot of rainfall, and that way I can tell you along different parts of northern Karnataka, Telangana, Odisha and the Gangetic Bengal. And apart from this, even the northeastern states also, you can see a lot of monsoon. Because of monsoon, the kind of situational stuff that is happening. Now, because of this, what happened? This heavy rainfall is actually leaving a trail of destruction in so many districts in these states. So destruction is not only environmental perspective. The destruction is also in the context of the economy, the society and the livelihood as a whole. So now, the most recent, distraction is with regard to the southern state of Kerala. Of course, I should say my state. Oh my goodness. You can see the buildings, the homes, the other stuffs. It has been destroyed to a greater extent. And this heavy rains, I can tell you, it has also been reported in the states of Kerala, Madhya Pradesh, and Uttarakhand as well. Now, apart from property, it has also led to significant loss of life, which is indeed something to be considered. And now, if you see the state of Kerala, aren't you not seeing the videos? The situation is so critical where this continuous rains has almost cleared a load of homes, properties, and also life of people. It has even taken to that stand, I can tell you. And now this so-called monsoon has resulted in such a situation where we are unable to control the after effects which has been happening because of this. Now, I can tell you that rain is something that is natural cause. You can't ask the rain to stop. But now, how to get yourself prepared or how should a state be prepared in that particular context is very, very important. Don't you think so? That is, a destruction has happened or a disaster has happened, natural or man-made, whatever. But how will you overcome or how will you get prepared? That is more important to be considered. So this particular slippery slope article is giving you a quick look into those factors as well. Clear? So now it's a very small article. Yes, Devraj, it is a disaster management stuff. A very small article toward the side, but that article has so many points to bring it to your notice as well, I can tell you. So here we go. The vulnerability of Indian states to monsoon fluctuation is one of the heading that I want to tell you people. That is, if you see, Indian monsoon is not the same for the state of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra or Andhra. Okay, it is totally different. There are so many variations with regard to what the pattern and the intensity of the Indian monsoons. And because of this, what happens? Automatically, it is causing a load of challenge to our country, India, because taking into consideration the precarity of living conditions of millions of people in our country. Because of this flood and heavy rainfalls, destruction to life and property is happening, which means environmental effect, social effect, and economic effect at the same time. It has been, showcased. And I can tell you that a lot of states, okay, apart from this rain or monsoon issue, they even face climate change impact and also extreme weather events, which means we all know that climate change is a burning issue these days. Now, because of this, also a lot of states are facing a lot of issues. Clear? And now why the state of Kerala has been projected is because of one single reason. For the context that, see, as far as the state of Kerala is concerned, I can tell you one particular or let's say one small thing that every single year for the past 3 years, if you take an analysis, every now and then the rainfall is hitting the state of Kerala in a very bad state and floods are been happening every now and then. But in spite of that, what is happening, or what is the government doing, is the next question that comes to your brain. They are trying to recover the situations, they are trying to do things, but then even right now, when this heavy monsoon or let's say rainfall is happening, still destruction to life and property is happening, which means management of disaster, or let's say disaster management, is not up to the mark. A lot more has to be done, which requires more of funding, which requires better infrastructure, which requires better resilient infrastructure. I repeat, resilient infrastructure. Don't you think so? Yes, that is what this article is actually showing or telling you. And I can tell you that Kerala, the state of Kerala, it actually hosts a vast stretch of Western Ghats. And I can tell you it is having to contend with this challenge more than any other state we are seeing in the news and other videos. What has happened in the state of Kerala? So pathetic. And you can see just like how you see in your Disney channels and also in the cartoon, how the homes are, getting dismantled. Just like that, within seconds, because of heavy rain and all this stuff, the properties and every buildings are getting shattered. So destruction is kind of, devastating. And this is not a new thing. Over the past few years, this is happening. And what precaution has been taken? What resilient infrastructure has been brought in to rectify? That is a big question, guys, which is being posed to the government, I can tell you. Don't you think so? Yes, it is. Now, just have a look into this. People are actually, traveling, on this boats. You can see the boats and the other kind of stuff. This is not a boat, actually. You can't call it as a boat. But you can see the waters above their heads indeed. So pathetic. Don't you think so? Yes, it is. Now, what are the recommendations, guys? This is a very, very severe condition, and not for the first time, but then this is happening over the years. Especially once the state of Kerala, guys, I should really tell you, due to heavy rainfalls. And even a lot of dams, they are forced to open up. And when dams are opened, we know what happens. But if you don't open the dam, then that's it. Another destruction can happen. So kind of the government doesn't know what stand to take. That has been the situation. Now, in a very systematic and strategic manner, what can be done for this situation? Very simple. Some of the recommendation is very simple, guys. Point number one, the government should take the required measures to reduce the risk of what? Life and property. See, property means, of course, economically it is a great impact, or let's say a great hit on the lifestyle of people, because all the hard-earned money which they have got and which they've invested in the properties is going in vain. And life, of course, people are dying. At the end of the day, you can't get your life back, right? That is also there. So what you can do to this serious scenario? One is develop a model that is environmentally sustainable, I can tell you. That is environmentally sustainable development model is something that has to be developed. So now we all know that there are a lot of evidences to literally indicate or show the impact or the effect of human activities in what? In increasing the vulnerability to extreme weather events. Now let's develop a model which is suiting our environment and sustainable as well. If you see in the state of Kerala, especially in the central Kerala districts, okay, there has been an increase in the quarrying activities. And they're saying that because of this so-called increase of quarrying activities in central Kerala district, it is believed to be contributing to increased instances of what? Mudslide in the region. Too much of quarrying, right? So continuous mudslide leading to landslide. Then the weather conditions, the kind of other, happenings, it is again causing a lot of trouble. So why don't we go for a model that is environmentally sustainable? That is one recommendation that can be logically put forward. You got the point? Now, the next important point is, see, we all know that land is an extremely scarce or let's say limited resource. But then expanding the economic activity to maintain forest is unsustainable. Don't you think so? So now let's make a point that such kind of interventions shall be avoided to the maximum extent possible. That is very, very, very important, guys. No doubt in that. Now, the next thing is, it is very important that though we have policies, rules, regulations, amendments, acts and all, sometimes you need to adopt a policy, that too a development policy. And this policy should be in such a way that it is treating the nature as an asset, not as an impediment. That's very important. When something is an asset for you, you try to protect it, hook or crook, whatever it is. In whichever way you are able to protect it, you will do that. That's a reality to a greater extent, I can tell you. Right? Yes. And now next is accurately mapped hazard zone. That is, which are the dangerous zones. Map them properly, and they should be given utmost importance because they are the vulnerable part or region. So Prevention is better than cure. Don't you think so? Similarly, let those areas or regions which are highly prone or vulnerable be taken care of to avoid the further damages or destruction to life and property due to such kind of monsoon impact like heavy rainfall. Clear? Is it very clear to all of you? Yes? Now, the next is strengthen natural defenses. What is this natural defense? See, very simple. We know that the rivers and mountains, come on, that's a blessing for all of us. Now, if you want to face such kind of heavy monsoons followed by heavy rainfall, every single state of our country, India, including exclusively now in the context of the state of Kerala, I'm talking, they must preserve what? The integrity of rivers and mountains. Now, when you start nurturing the health of rivers and when you keep them free from encroachment, that is when people encroach the rivers unnecessarily for all the other development activity, it is causing and again a big issue with regard to the natural defense that we have in order to protect us from such kind of heavy monsoons or rainfalls. So let's make sure that the rivers are completely kept safe from all these encroachments and all. And also let's protect the integrity of mountain slope. How you can do that? See, basically in mountain slopes, what happens is that a lot of mining activities keep on taking place. Let's actually protect them by ending that mining. Now, the next thing is deforestation. Complete cutting of trees takes place. Let's actually find a way to reduce that. Even if you are doing the deforestation, make a point that if you cut one tree, you're planting 10 saplings. Where is the ratio? 1:10. That is not happening many a times. Even if they're doing that also, they're failing to take care of that 10 new saplings that has been put forward or been planted forward, called as afforestation. When there is no proper care for that, they do not end up growing into into big tree. You got the point. So these are few things to be taken into consideration. And thus, the Madhav Gadgil Committee. When you talk about the Madhav Gadgil Committee, the next thing that comes to your mind is the report on the Western Ghats. Let's make some similar suggestions like the Madhav Gadgil Committee report on Western Ghats, because that is going to have a greater impact in order to overcome such kind of issue, because this particular article has been brought in exclusively taking into consideration the current happenings in the state of Kerala, the flood. Why this is happening here? Last year also, before that also flood, the destruction, life, property. This is a routine stuff. And what is happening? And not only Kerala, even the other parts or states of our country, India is also facing the same thing. But why notably Kerala is currently that particular state is on the forefront, I can tell you. So because there are no proper resilient infrastructure, this has been on the rise. Don't you think so? Yes. So this is what you should learn from this particular article. That's it. In a short, sweet and simple manner, we have finished it. Clear? Is it very clear to all of you? Perfect? It should be. Don't tell me it is not, perfect. You should be able to follow it in a better way. Anyways. By the way, I wanted to ask you something. Did you all do the, yesterday's question, guys? The mains answer writing what I gave you all? Because I couldn't find people putting it. The answers in the, group or anything as such. Yes? Okay. So now, the next article that we have is all about the greenfield hopes. It's from the category economy. So now, why are we discussing this particular topic is because there was an uptick in investment in our Indian economy. In that particular context, we're quickly going to have a look into this. Yes, Prathush, good evening. Hi, Mohammed. Yes. Okay. So now, let's quickly have a look into what is this greenfield all about, what is greenfield investment, what is brownfield investment. You remember I've taught you all this in the Unacademy special classes. This has been discussed by me to you in detail. What is greenfield and brownfield, my young officers? Remember, greenfield investment, brownfield investment, you should be knowing all this. What is that? This is a very, very important topic. Again, you will feel that, ma'am, this is a small article. This is not a small article. It is an article which is indeed very, very important. Okay. Once again, quickly, I'll let you know what is a greenfield and what is a brownfield investment. So basically, greenfield and brownfield are two different types of investments which you will come across in economics, because these are investments which has a lot to do with the growth of an industry or a company, or I can tell you that the economic perspective. So now, Brownfield is a term. Basically, there are two different perspectives. Okay. So sometimes you can see, okay, is it a greenfield project or a brownfield project? The meaning of that is greenfield and brownfield. Okay. Both the projects, they are a type of investments which comes under FDI. Both greenfield and brownfield, they come under what? Foreign direct investment. Clear? Now, with greenfield investing, the meaning is that a company will be able to build its own brand new facilities from the ground up or from the scratch. Whereas brownfield means you are actually improving the existing company or the facility. You're adding up to that. Greenfield is you're starting from the scratch, like a startup. Brownfield is the existing company or factory or whatever you have, you're kind of modifying it, or a kind of, kind of investing more into it. You're developing the existing stuff. This is a basic difference between a greenfield project and a brownfield project. Clear? Let's say, for example, when an entity or government, okay, when they're purchasing an existing facility to begin a new production, you are utilizing the existing thing, you're starting something new. That's called as brownfield. Greenfield means completely new you're starting. That is the whole point. Fine? So you will have a question like, ma'am, which is better? Do you prefer a greenfield or a brownfield project? Let me tell you guys honestly, always a greenfield project is better, because the reason for that is a greenfield project is better than brownfield because of the way the land is often used for development. The biggest difference between a greenfield and brownfield is that greenfield has never been built on. So you're starting something new. Innovation is coming up there. Creativity is coming up there. So you can do it the way you want. It's not like you are developing something on the existing stuff. The existing facility could be better or could not be better. So you cannot expect to give you a much better result. But then when you start something from the scratch, you are actually able to develop it, taking into consideration the advantage and disadvantage of the previous project. You got the point? That is the whole point. And with regard to greenfield projects, now they're always untouched land. Nothing has been done over there. And already they'll be in a very good condition. The kind of factor called risk is not associated with the greenfield initially. That is why they said that greenfield is better than brownfield. Did you understand? And so does this article also. With regard to greenfield hope, this is the background data or idea regarding the topic called as greenfield and brownfield from the static or the concept perspective. Is it very clear? Yes, Simran, where were you for so many days? You were missing. Yes, Abhinav and Pratosh. Is it fine, all of you? The theoretical part is clear to you all? Perfect. So let me quickly take you into the news analysis, guys, with regard to the greenfield hopes. Having understood the meaning, here we go. There has been an uptick in investment in the Indian economy in the context of greenfield projects. Now, we all know that for the past 2 years, we have been infected with this COVID-19 pandemic and infections and all. Now, the reducing burden of the so-called COVID and infections, and that too accompanied by all the gradual lifting of restrictions and all, things started rolling up slowly back to the economy. That is, the economy activity like production, distribution, consumption, all these started picking up slowly. So I can tell you that this has not only led to an improvement, okay, in the important economic indicators, but also led to a much needed investment revival. When everything was shut down, when too much of restriction was there, no production, no investment, no, economic activity at a greater level. But when everything started picking up slowly again, along with the improvement in the infrastructure, I can tell you that, or let's say the economic indicators, we can see that the investment culture or the atmosphere is slowly picking back to track. And if you see, taking that into consideration, don't you think so new projects can come up or new investments can come up? Yes, that is why you have the greenfield investments out here. People are investing. That's the whole idea here. That comes under greenfield project. So now if you see, to support this particular article, few recent data. Okay. From the studies, what has been done, it shows that investment commitments and indicators of actual capital expenditure on the ground is recorded, let's say, more than robust growth in the second quarter. That is, in the month of July, September, the investment culture has been showing a very high figure that they are been picking up in a much faster pace. And I can tell you, in fact, the fresh investments in the first half of the year 2021-22, it has been much, much higher than the pre-COVID year. That is, before COVID, if you take the analysis of the investments made before COVID in the year 2019-20, before that, and now after the slowly recovery phase, it is comparatively much, much higher, which means People want to kickstart because it has become a necessity. Because the entire things were locked up, no activity, no business, not much of investment. Investment was there, but not much. So they need to kickstart the economy, start the business, do the things properly. So they need to do it. That was also one triggering factor why the Greenfield Hope, or let's say there has been an uprise or uptick in the Indian economy investment. Clear? For new projects. Yes, Ashutosh, good evening. Yes, Simran, this is a recently hot news. This greenfield project. That's why I told you the context, or let's say the meaning of what is a greenfield and broadfield. Yes, Pradosh, we have discussed many questions. You remember in the MCQ class, in the Unacademy special classes, now which I do 6 p.m. wala, many times this question has come up. Greenfield and brownfield is a very important topic, and now you see the same thing is coming in today's editorial also, and it is highly relevant from the current affairs perspective. I should tell you. Yes, Abhinav, क्या है? Now, what is the importance, guys, of such kind of investments? Here we go. One is when there's an increased investment. Come on. We all know that investment is very important. Now, let's say inevitable for what? The economic growth of any country. And now, as far as a country, India is concerned, it is even more important because we are a developing or emerging economy. So now, such kind of uptick or uprise in investments, what is meaning of that? We are getting more money into the economy, and that could be indicative of what? The prospects of our country, India, in the medium and long term. That which means we are in the growing track. You got the point? Now, when more of investment is there, don't you think so? The burden of government is decreased because the government has to spend more. Okay, with regard to maintaining the infrastructure facilities, the other activities, which means the public expenditure is too much for the government. So now, with the increased public expenditure, though that is a major part of investment, also I can tell you the private capital outlay that is also amount to, let's say, an impressive of rupees 4.8 lakh crore. Come on, this is something that is hitting the bar again, my officers, because it is one of the most important or vital figure. And this can be considered as an indicator of the increasing confidence of private sector in our country, India, or let's say in the economy in the post-pandemic phase. Now, the recent trend is what? It's not just the government. It's not the public authorities. Rather, the encouraging the private parties to come up, which means the so-called triple P concept. What is that? Public-private partnership concept. That is to be embraced. Don't you think so? Yes. So now post-pandemic, you can see what you can see. Post-pandemic, you can see a lot of private sector's confidence getting boosted up, and the so-called triple P concept, public-private partnership, has been increasing to greater extent. So that is to be considered. You got the point. So this is to be understood in that perspective. Clear? Yes, Rohit. Now, that is another point, guys. Now, what can the government do? This is very important, guys. See, because multiple important current affairs topics are coming under this particular area. So, I have included these points, extra, guys, additional points for you to revise in a better way. Now, the PLI scheme. What is PLI? Production linked incentive scheme. I repeat, production linked incentive scheme. Even I predicted this topic as one of the hit list topic when I took infrastructure topic for you. And we have done multiple MCQs on this. That is, production linked incentive scheme is encouraging automobiles. Now it has been moved to different sectors. Even the food processing sector it has moved to software. It has moved. You remember I've taught you this. Yes, Solanki. Yes, Sham. Ma'am, the scheme is only useful for private. See, it's not, it is useful for private, Sham. The context is greenfield or brownfield is common to both public and private. Now, the private has shown more confidence and interest post-pandemic. You got the point, which means you have to understand that in the context of what? Triple P. See, in the news, they will not tell everything to you directly. You got to understand them. So that is why when I'm analyzing the article, I'm telling you from the scratch, from the basics or the concepts to the background data, so then you're not missing out anywhere. It is making you think in different dimensions. It is a triple P concept, public-private partnership ka concept. Clear? Yes, Rohit, thank you. Yes, Pratush, yeah, perfect. So here we go. Now, the PLI scheme. What you can do? The governmental measures being taken in the PLI scheme. Don't you think so, guys? This PLI is a very good scheme to promote investments. Production linked incentive scheme. Okay, that was put forward by the government to promote what? Manufacturing investments in our country, India. Now, lot of sectors, when they're coming under the PLI scheme, what happens? They're getting benefited. Investment is happening. And now here, there is something called as cash-based incentive. or let me tell you that they have been given incentives in the form of cash based. So now that is again attracting people from different sectors to come and invest. You got the point. So they all started with the automobiles, then moved to electronics, now to textiles, to pharmaceuticals, to food processing industry. It keeps on increasing like that. So now the implementation of the production linked incentive scheme to promote the manufacturing investment has actually benefited our country, India, exclusively in sectors like textile, pharma, electronics. That too over the second half of this year and also in the coming two. Now, the previous 2020 current affairs, Kasturi Cotton, theme of October 2nd, 2020, remember? And today, if you see, textile industry can give employment to a lot of people, that too especially cotton. And BT cotton is the only cotton that has been officially permitted for commercial cultivation under the genetically modified crops. And now in the textile, you can even connect this to mega textile park, which is again another initiative of government. So all these are actually encouraging investments and also sector to also grow. Now people are getting employed. Again, the next context is employment. The next current affairs of that is connect this topic with regard to employment. A lot of people in that particular area is getting employment. The next point, when employment comes, what happens? Income is generated. When income is generated, the living standard of people increases, automatically contributing to a better per capita GDP at the end of the day, growth and development. So now this is the way you connect the points. This is the way you study with regard to, the current affairs perspective. So one point can take it to multiple dimensions. Don't you think so? Yes. And that is actually enabling you to think in a better manner as well. And now this particular PLI, that is Production Linked Incentive Scheme, this is also a good thing taken by the government to boost up the to boost up the investment culture with regard to secondary or let's say manufacturing industrial sector investment. Because they are also helping to nudge a few investments away from countries like Vietnam, Cambodia, and Bangladesh towards India. Clear? You see, from this one point, I was able to connect multiple points. So that is something to be considered. Clear? Now, the next is telecom sector. Don't you think so? Investments in telecom sector is also very important. Yes. Why? Because the government recently now, they approved a lot of measures for the ailing telecom or let's say for helping the telecom sector. And now these reforms, they included 9 structural reforms and 5 procedural reforms for which telecom, because telecommunication is on the rise these days. Now, the whole point is the so-called new reforms for the telecom and telecommunication sector that will literally address the issues and challenges what the telecom industry is facing, like let's say spectrum auctioning, the AGR issue, and also find solution to revive it. So that is also another important thing because telecom requires more investments. You got the point. That is another one important point to be considered. So all these comes under the greenfield hope. That is paving way to start investments in these sectors from the scratch. Clear? And other measures to boost up investments or let's say to boost up more investment culture is the disinvestment process of the public sector firm. Your Air India and the nullification of provisions of retrospective tax. Yes, Pradosh, as you told me, the retrospective tax, the point is coming here, which I told you before in the previous, class. Yeah, as you said, very good. The speedy implementation is actually happening, no doubt in that. So all these things will actually support for what? The investment climate for our country, because that is what we need. See, investment means what? Investment is equal to, because of savings you have investments, or let's say because of that you have, it leads to what? A better interest rate. Because of that again you have a better money supply. You got the point. That's how it goes. So automatically when you have more investment for our country, it will add to the confidence of prospective investors for our country, India. And you can add another point to this. You know what? FDI. If you see over the years, even in this pandemic also, our country India is able to bag the highest amount of foreign direct investment. And especially with regard to sectors like software and IT, we could see huge amount of investments being roped in. Don't you think so? Yes, it was. So these are things to be considered as well. Clear? Yes, Simran, greenfield के साथ brownfield भी तो है. Yes, of course. That's why Simran, I told what is the meaning of greenfield and brownfield. You got the point. For you to have a clear-cut understanding of these two concepts as well, for a better conceptual clarity. Now, why is such kind of investment stuff and why is such kind of things very simple? Here we go. Now, with regard to investments, guys, when there is a rebound in investments, automatically the investments with the right policy, It is very important to ensure that there is a speedy economic growth for our country, India. Now, in this article, if you see, they had made few recommendations. That is, speedy implementation of schemes and policies. For that, you need investment of money. So, if you want an infrastructure project to be, put across, or you want another project to be completed on time, be it educational, health, or any infrastructure, that is road, railway, energy, whichever project to be completed on time, money is required. How does it come? Through investments, right? One way. So now for the speedy implementation, guys, which is very important, we need to have a better investment culture. I can tell you that out of the 13 sector HANA for which the production and incentive scheme has been announced, only 9 have been notified so far. So don't you think so? When there is a lag, the people who want to invest from other countries will miss out and they'll go to a different destination? Yes, that shouldn't be the case. For a speedy implementation of schemes and policies, make sure that the government is working towards that. You got the point? Yes, yes, Abhi, definitely you can. If you're a working professional also, you can crack the exam. Do not worry. You can start preparing in a systematic way. No doubt in that. Yes, Rohit and who is it? Anuj Singh. हिंदी में थोड़ा बोलिए ज़्यादा है तो हिंदी में lecture सुनेंगी. Rohit, Anuj and Rohit, let me tell you something. See, language is something for you to understand. Don't you think so? Be it Hindi, be it English, be it Malayalam, be it Tamil, be it Kannada, be it Marathi, Andhra, Telugu, whatever. I mean, whatever it is, okay? If you're able to understand it, that should be okay. And now I do take a class in English. You're very free to watch the lectures in Hindi out there. There are so many educators who do that. But I don't encourage students to watch exclusively in one regional language because let me be very honest with you people. मैं क्या बोला मतलब if you want to be a UPSC aspirant, at least even if you're not fluent, learn English. You may be posted in a different cadre. You can't expect the people of that particular area to know Hindi. How will you communicate? At least the basic common language should be there, which is English across, I can tell you. Okay, that is one thing. And the whole point is if you're able to understand, well and good. If not, give some time for yourself and try to learn it. I am not using any technical jargons or bombarding vocabulary word here. मैं बहुत simple का English use करती है. So मैं सोचा मतलब problem नहीं है, right? It's not like I can't take classes in Hindi or मैं मतलब I want to take only in English. No, I want to be you know uh, neutral to all the students from across India because we are a pan-India teachers. We teach for across India. So I have students from Bihar, I have students from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu, from Telangana, from Orissa, from Bihar, from Rajasthan, from Maharashtra, Punjab, UP, Haryana, Odisha, etc. etc. So मैं मतलब I can't talk only in Hindi na. So it is not compulsory that a Bengali will should compulsory know Hindi fluently or a Marathi should know Hindi fluently though they belong to North part or a Northeast Valley from Assam or Manipur should know. And South Indian people, of course, me being a South Indian, I do know Hindi, but then not everyone should know that, है ना? So common thing should make a lot of sense. Because why I said this today is, here's Ashtosh, sure. Why I said this is, for every single class of mine, I can see students asking, मैं हिंदी में बोलो, मैम हिंदी में बोलो. अरे मेरा बच्चा लोग सी हिंदी में बात कर दिए बट 20% हिंदी मतलब 80% इंग्लिश है वो मेरा क्लासेस मतलब एकदम इक्वल है आई डोंट वांट टू हैव दैट बायसनेस और लेट्स से that so called partiality to one particular language. No, I don't want to promote it as such. That is why even in the South Indian channel called as Namma's Academy, I am very neutral with the children, with the students out there, I can tell you. Anyways, back to class. Okay? And मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा हिंदी का बात करती है यार, which is okay feel. From the South Indian, hearing a little of Hindi is always nice. Anyways, back to the class. The next important recommendation based on the Greenfield Hope editorial article is international economic partnership. Don't you think so, guys? To increase the investment culture for our country, India, we got to have a very good international, let's say, a better connection across countries. So what we should do is we got to really see, we got to seek to seal the economic partnership pacts and make sure that we are having very good ties with the top, market, with the top, market controllers like the UK, US, and European Union. And also making a point that we are improving the perception of our country into international stage. Of course, we Indians, being incredible in our own way in the cultures and other perspective, we do have a place in international platform, no doubt in that. Let's start improving the perception in a much more better manner. So automatically other countries will feel to come and invest over here as well. So now what we should do here is very simple. We got to focus on our reputation and we got to focus on improving the image on key socio-economic parameters, very important. And there is something called as rule of law. We got to adhere to that. So that enables us to have a better market and we can actually capture, attract more investments in a speedy manner. That is the whole point here. Clear? So this is what you should study from this particular article that is given in the newspaper. Is it very clear, all of you? Clear? So that's it, guys. That's a beautiful article which has to be understood in a short, sweet, and simple manner. Now, we have an interesting article out here from international relations. So now always I tell you that whenever there's an article from IR, you can rely on the Indian Express also. But if it is editorial, you go for the Hindu. If it is a general news, go for Indian Express because beautifully they express the article there. Now it is a shadow foreign policy for the very first time. So when I teach Indian international relations, I do teach you people with the example of Mahabharat, Pandavas, Kauravas, and Shaguni. India, Pakistan, China, like that. Hannah, that's how we kind of study in a very simple manner. Like the next door neighbor story, we study international relations IR. So now here we go, guys. This particular article, which spoke about a shadow foreign policy for the very first time, is talking about a document suggesting an alternative foreign policy, which has been put forward, but will the opposition consider it? That was a big question mark put forward by TP Srinivasan in this particular article, I can tell you. So let me quickly take you to this particular article, guys. This is a beautiful article, okay? It's a controversial stuff again. So the context is very simple. Recently, the CPR, the Center for Policy Research, what they did after doing some analysis and all, they came out with the document titled India's Path to Power, the strategy in a world adrift. Okay. Now, this particular document was outlining or showing an alternative to the present foreign and defense policies for which our government is following. The loopholes, the advantage, disadvantage, what we can be done, etc., etc. So now here, the relevance of this particular topic is very simple. We are going to understand this particular topic from our country, India's present and future foreign policy. What is the current foreign policy we are following and what can happen, what we can do in the future to make it more better or more realistic, which can fetch us better yield or income or revenue. You got the point? So this is the relevance of this particular article. From this scenario only, we're going to analyze exclusively and inclusively with regard to our country, India. Clear? Yes, Sham. Ma'am, meaning of shadow foreign policy. I will tell you, don't worry. I will tell you. Now, in this particular article, okay, let's quickly have a look into what are the current or the recent foreign policy which has been followed by a country. You know why it is important? See, only if you know the current foreign policies what you're following, we can find out the advantage, the pros and the cons or disadvantages and then plan in a better way for the future foreign policy. Don't you think so? So here we go. I can't say that, or let's say we can't say that the foreign policy that we are following is bad. It's not that bad. Of course, we have success in foreign relations. We are doing great, I should tell you at one end. Our country, India, has been able to adopt innovative, bold, and assertive foreign policy in recent times. And I can tell you that our country, India, we have been able to overcome the hesitations in our history. And we are following a very positive or a practical, more importantly, I can tell you more than positive, a very pragmatic or practical approach, guys, we are following towards the foreign policy. We think what works for us and what doesn't work for us instead of the relationship that we hold with the other country. If it is not working for us, come on, in a practical or pragmatic manner, we're going to drop it. You got the point? So because of this pragmatic or practical approach, we are able to break out from the traditional molds of non-alignment and we are able to adopt a strategic multi-alignment strategy, keeping in mind the national interest. For example, India has a good relation with US or with Australia or with Japan. Now, sometimes with regard to the foreign policies of these two countries, it may not match. So just because we have a year to year or decade to decade relationship with these countries, it doesn't mean that we have to keep in lieu with that particular policy. We can just switch it to some other country which suits us better. That's called as pragmatic or practical approach. That is what we are following currently. That is what this particular article is also trying to tell you in a short, sweet and simple manner. Did you understand? Now, and yes, I can tell you that we are being able to have a success in many countries' foreign relations. But then if you see, we went ahead with a lot of peace initiative. But then, it failed because it was with countries like Pakistan, who is again having a lot of Cold War with us. And Pakistan is like, Kauravas and India is like Pandavas. Both are connected. But the factor called Shaguni, or let's say China, is using all their brains and trying to split us. We all know that. So in spite of the peace initiatives we tried to have with our neighbor Pakistan, still it failed. But what did India do? You think India gave up? No. Our country, India, we should be proud to be an Indian, okay? Because India, one thing I'll tell you guys, we are the highly diplomatic country across the globe. No doubt in that. Baapre, oh my goodness, mera bacha log. No doubt that India is so diplomatic and so does the Indians. Believe me, the biggest quality of India is that. So even after failing the failure of the peace initiatives with Pakistan, our country, India, we adopted a firm stand against what? The state-sponsored terrorism originating from Pakistan. We were very vocal and we're strong in that, I can tell you. And not only that, you see, what did we do? We have been able to convince in a very diplomatic way the other international organizations and also several other countries to exert pressure on Pakistan. We just ultied it. We projected Pakistan just like that in a very different way. It is not direct, but then they captured the help of other countries and did this. And if you see, there is something called as FATF. What is that? Financial Action Task Force. Now, Financial Action Task Force is basically to rank countries based on their activities. That is, they look into countries who are, supporting terrorism or who are doing money laundering activity and all. If you see, Financial Action Task Force is basically for anti-corruption, anti-money laundering and anti-terrorist funding and stuff. If you see the country Pakistan, even today, okay, they are still found to be supporting money laundering activities and also they're funding all the terrorist activities and all. Due to which, out of 27 indicators, only 21 indicators they could satisfy. And even today, they are in the grey list. There is something called as good list, blacklist, and grey list. Blacklist means, completely taken off. So Pakistan was in the blacklist, okay, because they were continuously supporting terrorist activities and doing money laundering and corruptions and all. Now, they are taken from the black to the grey. But still, they are proved to be doing all these illegal activities. Okay. So the whole context is when a country has been called as a grey list countries, what happens is that no other countries, any other foreign countries can help them officially, and they will not have good tie or relationship as a whole. But in spite of Pakistan being under the grey list, which is officially put forward or released by the Financial Action Task Force, you think Pakistan's economy is going down or Pakistan is not getting any support from other countries? Come on here. China is supporting them like anything. Underground ka support. Again, that is because they want to add more, oil to the fire so that it will burn like anything against India. You got the whole logic. This is what is happening. That's why I said Pandava, Kauravas and Shaganis. You can just connect that example here. India, Pakistan and China. Okay. Now, the next point to be noted in the context of our country, India's current foreign policy is, one is with Pakistan, I told you. Now, with regard to Israel and Arab countries, come on, it has become highly productive and we do depend upon importing oil and other petroleum products from Arab countries. So we got to make sure that we are having a very strong relationship with these countries. And if you see with regard to US, when Mr. Donald Trump was there, yeah, because of close ties China was having with Trump, again, slowly India's, relationship with US was disturbed because we had something called as, the kind of preferences, that is the export or the other perspective, we were having a very good connection, I can tell you. But then that was not working for that. That's called as general system of trade preferences, okay, GSP. The general system of trade preferences was quite good for India and US, but then in between, because of the influence of China and all, US was not having a good relationship with India. That is, our exporters were able to export their items to US at a much lesser cost and earn a better profit and all the stuff. The market was quite open, but then that was closed. Now, since then, John Biden has come back again. The thing is like we are slowly increasing and deepening our ties with US, I can say. So we're able to actually get get our relation back with US guys, because of the change in the political change in the US government also. So again, the foreign policy of our country, India, with the top developed country, or let's say superpower nation like US, is being strengthened once again. Clear? Now, though I have showed you few success in our foreign relations as well, through few examples of other countries, many a times I cannot tell you that we have been so great in the foreign policy, or let's say foreign relations, that we have not failed anywhere, or let's say we have not failed anywhere. We do have your, pros and cons. That is, failures in foreign policies. Of course, we do have, guys. Now, we tried a lot to strengthen the relationship with our neighbors. Okay. But many times, if you see the effort that we did to strengthen the relation with the neighbors have not materialized for India. If you see the neighboring countries, okay, the relationship with countries like Nepal, Sri Lanka, all these things, now they continue to be at an all-time low. That is just because of the influence of China in these countries. Again, Bangladesh. See, Bangladesh and all got separated from India. You all know that. Now, China is slowly again, pestering the ears of Bangladesh government. So then they're able to capture them and turn them against India. So what happens? Though we are neighbors, though we're neighboring countries, though we have a, mutual trust, or let's say mutual touch as well, we do not mean in a good relationship with them. That's because the influence of China, I can tell you. You understand? And now, because of that, it seems to be growing at the cost of our country. That is one of the failure of our foreign policy, guys. And again, if you see China's incursion into Ladakh, that is also marking a failure for our country, India's attempt to contain what? The increasingly assertive nature of China. Don't you think so? These are actually points, valid points, evidences to show that we are failing in the foreign policy. So now what is the point to be understood? The culprit is China. So now you got to make sure that you're forming a team and moving against it. That is why we had the Quad. What is Quad, guys? Again, the next international relation topic. What is, yes, Pradosh, what is Quad? Quadrilateral agreement or dialogue. Four countries: UK, Japan, India, Australia. And what is the main agenda of these countries? Actually, India's agenda plan only this is to capture the remaining three countries, Japan, UK, Australia, to go against China. And already we have Cold War with them. These countries also. So India is trying to utilize it. So exhibiting the diplomacy to the greater extent is something what India is doing, I can tell you. Clear? Very interesting, now. How smart India is. Yes, Savan, UK, US. It is US, Savan. Where were you these many days? Savan is coming from Odisha. Like a swan he comes. A very old student of mine, plus student. Good to see you in the class, Savan, after a long time in YouTube. Anyways. And now, few of the important topics, or let's say few of the important points we know under this particular topic is that now this particular document which has been released by the Center for Policy Research, now guys, it is even very critical for the foreign and defense policies of the current government. And now they even argue that such a policy is not conducive to finding a path for what, to power the for power for our country India in the post pandemic world. Come on, do you feel that is sounding great? This has to be thought. This particular statement has to be considered. And this document which has been released by the Center for Policy Research, they also put across with the concern that there are so many domestic issues which has actually caused a huge impact on the foreign policy of a country, India. And also this document is suggesting, okay, which has been released now, they're suggesting that a country, India, we have to set our house in order to stem the tide of international reaction, which means we got to maintain a very good diplomatic foreign relations with other countries. And this document is also saying that the internal politics that is happening, okay, we have to be very careful about that, because they're warning against the perverse impact of domestic political and analytical factors, because that is actually having a huge impact on foreign policy. When you represent your country, India, see, the internal conflict should not affect the external relations. It should have a lot of impact in a negative way. That shouldn't be the case. That's what the document is projecting. So this document released by the Center for Policy Research, based on India's foreign relations and all, and what you can do in future, they are also warning the political polarization. Very honestly, I'm telling you guys, this is not something which is offending or defending any parties or anybody. This is a reality. We're not taking names of any parties or anything out there, but the reality I'm telling you. People do not want to analyze such kind of topics. But I feel as a UPSC teacher, a UPSC aspirant, you people, you got to know these things in a very diplomatic way. Don't you think so? Yes, this article is actually, warning that political polarization and majoritarianism again could decrease or diminish our country India's strength where international stage. Don't you think so? This particular point is highly valid. Yes, it is. No doubt in that is highly, highly, highly a valid point. Yes, Prem. Yes, Ishan. Ma'am, please ask one quarter. What? I'll talk to you after the class. Okay? Is it very clear, all of you, the others in the class? And this particular document is actually giving a realistic picture of the foreign policies of a country, India, and what are the disadvantages we have and what could be the future. If you want the future of a country, India's foreign relations with other countries to be better, then we got to make sure that such kind of internal political polarization and majoritism shouldn't be there, because that is diminishing or decreasing the strength of our country, India, on the international stage, because we got to promote them. We got to create the confidence in the mind of investors out there. So we'll be able to improve the investments of foreign relations and other perspectives. Don't you think so? So this article is sticking in two different dimensions, guys. When you read the article, you will not get an idea like that. But then, when you really, analyze them in a UPSC format, in a note format, by using the method of interlinkaging and the connected key points, what I tell you, it becomes more interesting. This is the way you got to analyze these articles. Clear? So half a page article, we have done in hardly 4 to 5 slides along with the background data as well. So thus I can tell you that the foundation source for a country India's influence in the world is the power that we enjoy. And this rests on 4 pillars. What are they? The domestic economic growth, social inclusion, political democracy, and a broadly liberal constitutional order. Very, very important. You can just note it. Domestic economic growth, social inclusion, political democracy, and broadly liberal, matlab free constitutional order. This is something which we rely on. This is the fourth pillar, which is the fundamental source of our country, India's influence in the entire globe. Because of this, we have our name across. And now, this particular report, though we have to rely on all this also, what is happening in the domestic politics? What is happening to social inclusion? Somewhere or the other, the bifurcation or gap is there. What about the political democracy? There is majoritarianism. There is so much of shit happening. And what about the liberal constitutional order? It is liberal by word, but what is happening in reality? That's why this failure is happening. You got the point? I'm talking about the negative perspective. So now, the report is criticizing the omnidirectional Indian foreign policy. Simple as that. I repeat, omnidirectional Indian foreign policy in one line. This is actually the soul of this article, guys. Clear? Is it very clear for all of you? So I can see a question from Shyam Sundar from Polity. Ma'am, foreign policy, which article? See, Shyam Sundar, foreign policy. See, India's foreign policy is mentioned in Article 51 of Indian Constitution, if I'm not wrong. Article 51 of Indian Constitution. And I'll tell you something, article is very, very, very important topic in, polity, guys, for UPSC. In this year also, as I predicted, questions from articles came. I told you Article 21, Article 32, all these are important areas. These are the basics. Articles, fundamental duties, rights, and this year also you can see questions from those areas. So it's a very important thing. Clear? So if you want to have an imperative understanding of a country, India's foreign policy, it is Article 51 of our Constitution. Clear? Is your doubt clear? Perfect. Yes, Prem Kumar, what is it? India currently plays no significant role in West Asia. India-Iran relations today lack warmth. Okay. In Afghanistan, India has been marginalized as far as the peace process is concerned. Can this affect FDI? See, Prem Kumar, the question what you have asked has 3 different keywords and 3 different linkages. Let me start with Afghanistan, which is a recent thing in the context of Taliban issue. So I prefer that you would have watched those classes of mine in the Plus as well, Plus platform or paid platform Unacademy, where beautifully have analyzed the same scenario. And yes, this will affect, but then we are not getting any much source of FDI from Afghan. What we have to focus the FDI we get from US, in Japan, Australia, and countries like that, especially US. That's more important for us. Clear? As they are the superpowers. Simple as that. And with regard to Iran and all, see, it's about the Chabar port, it's about the other relations, oil supply and import and perspectives like that is also getting affected because of China. So there is another current affairs to be connected. So now it's not about the FTA, but the other connected areas have been affected. Clear? Now, the next question is, see, we have understood the current status of our country, India's foreign policy. What are the failures we have, success we have, what we can do is the next question to be considered. So, from based on this topic, document is highly criticizing the omnidirectional India's foreign policy. What do you think, guys, could be the recommendations? Very interesting to know that, right? Here we go. The recommendation is this document released by, the CPR, Center for Policy Research. They call for a change in our country, India's foreign policy. Just look at that word, guys, change in India's foreign policy. And they say, let's go for a few recommendations. What are they? Point number one, increasing multilateral engagement. This document, they are saying that it would be incorrect and counterproductive for our country, India, to turn back on globalization. What they're trying to say is, see, LPG, liberalization, privatization, globalization. In that, globalization was encouraged to a greater extent. It has led to opening up of Indian economy since the year 1990. We all know that. The new economic policy or reforms put forward by Dr. Manmohan Singh, who was a then finance minister and, who was a previous, was also a great economist and who was a great economist over the years. Okay. Then after that only he became the PM, Prime Minister. That's a different scenario. But during globalization period, or let's say LPG, he was a finance minister that time. Now, because of too much of dependence on the foreign products or MNCs, multinational corporations coming up and doing business or investments here, they are preferring for something called as deglobalization. That is limiting the dependence on the foreign countries' investment. So now it is saying that we should have a very good foreign relations. We shouldn't make it Atmanirbhar completely. Again, this particular point is associated with the so-called Atmanirbhar, perspective. That is self-reliant or self-independent India mission, the 20 lakh economic stimulus package. So now if you talk about self-reliant, self-independent, well and good, but that shouldn't be, against globalization, because that is actually causing a lot of issues. Don't you think so? Yes. So let's start increasing the multilateral engagement, keeping in mind the domestic industries benefit as well for our country, India. And the document also suggested that the SAC, South Asian Association of Regional Cooperation, they should be revived and that India should rejoin RCEP. India was a part of Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. Okay. But after some years recently, we felt that we were not in lieu with few countries' statements and stuff, and we got removed from that. We followed a pragmatic approach. So now the document is saying that, see, let the SAC, South Asian Association Regional Corporations relations be revived, and let us India once again rejoin the RCEP. And we have to continue the membership in the Asia Pacific Economic Cooperation also. We should actually put ourselves everywhere, they are saying, instead of preventing ourselves from the important partnerships that has been there exclusive with Asian countries. Clear? That is another recommendation. Next is maintaining a strategic autonomy. See, don't you think so? It's quite important to have a strategic or a single autonomy in the ever-changing world, yes. And that's what this document or report is also stressing. They say that let's maintain good relationship, both with US. Of course, US is important, we do have, and also with China. We know that China is a problem cause, the root cause for all the problems. But still, let's be diplomatic. You do not like China, it's okay. Koi baat nahi, no problem yaar. Even if dimag is getting kharab also, it's okay. You maintain a high-bar relationship because that is very important for this country not to harm you. Matlab thoda safe hai, theek hai, you understand. And now, the next is China policy. Now, this report is acknowledging the influence of China on our country, India's external environment. Now, that is suggesting what a combination of engagement and competition with China. So, let's make it very diplomatic. Let's be on the safer side, which we used to do before. But we know that China is so smart that they do everything and anything to, destroy us. That is also there. But there lies the strength of us, where capturing the attention of other countries and the cooperation of other countries, we should be able to have such a connection where China cannot say no to us in any scenario. That is what we did in Taliban also, very smart. Afghanistan Taliban ka issue. China was waiting for an opportunity to capture India. In either ways, India could have been caught. You remember, I have done this editorial for you. Because India is very close to Afghan, and now Afghan being close to Pakistan, Pakistan being close to China. They can even frame it like, see, now India was secretly helping Taliban, due to which, they have not done things. Even to Taliban, if India never had a high-bar relationship, without the knowledge of Afghan, they tried to maintain. If India did not maintain, then again, Taliban being close to China can say that, okay, they are again against you people, and they are the one who's giving more support of gun. And again, it will be against India. Either ways. But India played a very smart and safe game, I can tell you guys. So diplomatic, believe me. That's a kudos to our country. Don't you think so? Yes, it is. Now, the next is Pakistan policy. The report also suggests the reassumption of dialogue and gradual revival of trade, transport, and other links with Pakistan. That is, we are trying to make the people or the country whom we see as enemies as our close friends. Trying to see doesn't mean you're going to make them close. You got to maintain a very sharp eye on them. But still, let's not have an open, enmity. Rather, let's try to have a linkages. So now they cannot cross us in any way, or they cannot, harm us in any way. You got the logic here. What they're trying to tell you. Clear? A simple thing here. This is like how, in a family, when the issue is happening, or among three friends, an issue is happening. No, you to avoid the situation, one person will be very smart enough to analyze things diplomatically. So you're getting benefit at the end of the day. Simple logic. It's not you're selfish, but you're able to avoid the problems and carry forward the global peace. The objective of global peace in a much better way. Simple as that. To reduce the intensity of problems, you do this. Clear? Because we know that China is causing a lot of issues by catching Pakistan. So now we got to make sure that these two come under us as well in a nice way. So they cannot take a policy against us at any nearest scenario. That's what they're trying to say. So thus the conclusion of this particular topic is that though so many suggestions are made by this report, they are open deliberations also, guys. See, you cannot say that just because this report has put forward some suggestions or recommendations, you have to follow the same thing. Because if you see majority of Indian scenario, they will never have a good relationship with China or Pakistan in the near future, because the situations have turned up like that. But still, we can consider a few things. That is what the conclusion is also telling. Clear? So let's, focus, or let's say the importance of this report is that it is showing or revealing the end of the era of consensus foreign policy, and they're presenting a shadow foreign policy, Kalatrapala foreign policy. That's why, even though you do not like us, you're showing up as if, okay, fine, yeah, my problem nahi hu, main theek hu, ekdam theek hu. You got the whole point. And that is for the very first time in India, they feel let's go for this Kalatram also to be on the safer side. This is called a shadow foreign policy. And yes, Shyam Kumar, do you understand what is shadow foreign policy? It is not a concept. If you want to understand shadow foreign policy, after analyzing the entire scenario of India, Pakistan, China, and the situation, I hope now you would have got what is consensus and what is shadow. And what we're going to do right now is a shadow foreign policy for the very first time in our country, India, shifting from the consensus foreign policy. Clear? And this shadow cabinet now, it is not a new thing. It's a feature of the Westminster system of government, where they'll have a group of, opposition spokespeople who, under the leadership of the leader of opposition, form an alternative cabinet of that of government. So now things work simultaneously here and there. You got the point? The ruling party and the opposition party. That's the whole point here. Yes, Pradosh, I've read this article, Opposition Dwells on Floating Policy, Think Tank Ideas, and it's under discussion with implementation. Yes, exactly. It is something related to the same as well. Yeah, very true, very true. Good that you people are maintaining it. Yes, Anuj, kindly refrain from using such kind of words. Be it Hindu, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Sikh, East, West, North, South, nobody is a terrorist. Okay? It's the way the people behave. See, all of us, when we are born, we have no religion here. We're all babies who are born with the same color, red color blood inside our body in our veins. Okay? It's the kind of family we put up, we choose religion. So it's the attitude of people. Don't bring religion to terrorism and all this. That's absolutely a bullshit thing. Don't do that. And don't even pass comments like that, which is not at all appreciable. I can tell you this. Okay? Whichever religion, it's the people who does it. Just because a person is from that particular religion is doing that, or they are doing it, doesn't mean that you can categorize that religion is like that. Doesn't suit well for a UPSC aspirant. You got to think in a very diplomatic and very broad perspective. That's the quality of a UPSC aspirant. Clear? Yes, Pratik, ma'am, how can we gain more mark in descriptive parts? I'll tell you that, Pratik. Let me finish this. Clear? Yes, Kunal, cabinet, shadow cabinet. See, you want me to explain that? See, shadow cabinet is very simple. That is, the Westminster system of government, where you will have the ruling government, you'll have the opposition. Now, the opposition is given more importance, where the group of opposition spokespeople, under the leader of the so-called opposition people, they'll have an alternative cabinet. Cabinet is for the ruling government. Now the opposition will also have an alternative cabinet where they can take decisions equally, they can come in the meetings equally, they can put forward their suggestions. You got the point. So that has to be considered at some point of time. That's the whole point of shadow cabinet. Did you understand, Kunal? Perfect. And now, to talk more about shadow cabinet, though they are alternative to the cabinet of the current government also, they have no executive power like the ruling government. It is but a shadow cabinet, matlab, they do have a responsibility also. That is, it is the shadow government's responsibility to scrutinize the policies and actions of the government, and also to offer what, as I told you, alternative policy suggestions, decisions which they can take forward. Now, as far as the country India is concerned, do you think we have a tradition of shadow cabinets? Come on, in reality, we do not have. India does not have a tradition of shadow cabinet. That is why wo kutta billi ka fights happens. Seriously, it happens because of that. Okay, and whatever is the thing, we got to follow some that is highly diplomatic in nature. That's what I can tell you as well. Clear? Yes, Kunal, that is what I'm telling you. India does not have a tradition of shadow cabinets. Very clearly, I've told in the last point, because I know you will ask me this question. You guys, this will come to your brain. That's why I've mentioned the last point also. Clear? So this is what you should study from the so-called big article in a very short, sweet and simple manner. I hope it is crystal clear. So today we discussed three different articles. One from environment, one from economy, one from IR. And it has taken you to three different levels as well, I hope. And all your doubts with regard to the analysis, with regard to the concepts, with regard to the intelligent topics have been cleared, I hope. So thank you so much, my young officers. Before leaving the class, make sure that you are liking the video, putting a valuable comment, subscribing to the channel, and also stay tuned for the tomorrow 9:30 p.m. class. So now here you have the mains answer writing practice as well. Yes, Ishan, what happened? I didn't see your message. I will tell you, Pratik. Hold on. Let me finish this. Now, here we go. With regard to the foreign policy, this is the question is, what were the main features of India's foreign policy? Elaborate on its main objectives. This is a previous year related question as well. This year also there are chances for this question to come, guys. It's very, very important. For the mains examinations, I'm predicting, okay? Very simple. Feature of India's foreign policy. We have had an article based on that. We can talk in a general perspective, then add these current affairs as well. And the objective. Clear? Yes, Sham is asking Russia as shadow government. It's UK, Sham. So it's based on today's article, guys. Foreign policy, this question is taken. So do write the answer and submit to me. Clear? Now, based on what Pratik has asked, more marks in descriptive. See, Pratik, for that you got to practice continuously. Point number one. Second is, whatever question is given to you, look at the keyword. There is something called as KAI technique. I'll be teaching that in the special classes very soon. I've taught already. So for the prelims, you use keyword elimination comparison technique. For the mains answer writing, keyword approach interlinkaging technique is something. What is a keyword? Here the keyword is elaborate. Okay. Sometimes in some questions you have critically evaluate, critically analyze. Whenever you see such kind of keyword, the rule is that introduction followed by advantage or benefits of pros, followed by what are the issues or challenges or disadvantages, and the next heading should be way forward or suggestions, and then one word conclusion, diplomatic way. There is a way in which you should write the answer based on the keyword critically analyze. That's the keyword, that's the approach, and then you have to interlinkage them. Interlinkaging is very simple. Let's say, for example, I've written a point on advantage based on India's foreign policy in a positive way. And now, in the disadvantage, I've written another point based on the same perspective, saying that we are not following a rational policy or something. Now, from the keyword rational, the suggestion or the, let's say, way forward, you should be able to drive another point. It's like whatever challenges or issues you've written in the same order, the points has to be derived for the way forward as well. Why? Because that shows a continuity for your answer. No repetition, will be like a story from the intro to the end with the proper interlinkage. That will fetch you full marks for your mains answer writing, believe me. That's called as KAI approach, the KAI approach, keyword approach interlinkaging. You have to keep practicing for that. You got the point. So only when you keep practicing, you'll be able to, do that. Clear? Yes, Valla, what is it? Why so boring? If it is boring, just get out and go. Simple as that. Nobody is forcing anybody to sit over here. Force kar diye, nahi na. Then kyun bhai? What's the problem? Simple. Anyways, the next one. Yes, Sham. Ma'am, in Unacademy or free class going. Yes, Sham, we'll have it from tomorrow at 6. Okay, we'll have it at 6 p.m. I'll start with the MCQs over there, and we'll have few, special series as well. On this coming Saturday and Sunday, we'll have few extra, carnivals. Like how I did for the prelims, examination before that, some carnivals. The same thing will happen for the mains also. Clear? Yes, Pradosh. Yeah, the KI technique is quite good. You can even follow that, Pradosh, which I've been telling since the last year. Yes, Ishan, thank you. Anything else? Any other doubts, queries, whatever you have? Perfect. Now let me tell you something, my young officers. Now, with regard to the UPSC CSE examination and the Plus platform. Now, I have told you many a times that Unacademy is offering, the Plus subscriptions. You all know that. Now, can you see a message that has been pinned up? That is actually the link of my Unacademy profile. Click that, it will take you to my Unacademy profile page. You can follow me there for all these special classes and all. And if you want to be a part of the Plus platform, today is 20th, guys. You have the offer going on, 35% discount. Apart from the extra 33% discount is there. So either GS plus optional, okay, which is a normal subscription, or the iconic. The difference is both are paid subscriptions. Both are the fees you're paying to Unacademy. In iconic, you will come under premium category. There'll be a little higher hike in the fees because you get individual attention, mentoring, you get the all the extra benefits like one-to-one session, doubt clearing, then the timetable, the schedule, the tracker for your preparation. All these things comes there. X, Y, Z. Whether you're going for the normal plus with the option or the iconic GS with option, use the code Nisha IAS Live, not just to get discount from your fee amount. Okay. More than that, to come under the personal mentoring program that I'll be doing for the students. That is the whole point. I've been taking the comprehensive economy classes, NCERT economy classes, then the other, weekend current affairs classes and all on the Plus platform. Here, if you see an editorial, I can give you only editorial news here. The entire current affairs, weekly current affairs crash course, not daily. Daily is there in the free platform. The weekly will have a benefit like only the important things we discuss. So your preparation is on track. You need not spend 8 hours or let's say seven in let's say in seven all the 7 days. You need not spend time for the current affairs. Weekly you can come and spend 2 or 4 hours, total of 4 hours in 2 days, and finish it off. So your time is getting saved. All these kind of benefits is available only in the Plus platform. Clear? So what you do is you can actually, utilize this offer. Yes, Ishan, see, whether you're rich or poor, I'll tell you something. If you can't pay the full fees also, see, Unacademy is offering very less fees, guys. You can see for the iconic offer, the plus, it's only 57, 78, 82, 120 and all. For 3 years and all, it is even more, less, including the GS papers and the option. You have a variety of options to choose. If you are falling for bad for one day and you feel after 1 week to go for some other options, you can fluctuate. There is no extra fees or charge for that, including test series and all, you get it. 45,000 word test series, you're getting free with the GS compo and iconic compo. What else you need? And if you do not have much of money, nothing to worry. You can go for loan. There is a loan option for Unacademy as well. That is without the interest rate, without the processing fee. In 2 hours, it gets approved. Make sure there is no CIBIL score issues as there. So again, for the loan also, Nisha IAS Life code can be used. For 3 years also, you can take loan. 2 years you can take, and you can pay it off in 2 years accordingly. Monthly 3,000 or 4,000 or 6,000 you're paying based on 1 year, 2 year, 3 year you're taking. It doesn't cost you much. You got the point. So you can go for that if you can't have the full amount. So there are multiple options going by Unacademy. It's not like you have to pay the full fees. You can pay in part, you can pay in loan, you can have the EMI without interest. See, without interest, you're doing. 20,000 rupees paid by Unacademy for you people. Again, 20,000 is given by me using my code Nisha IAS Live. What else you need again? So there are a lot of, options for you. Yes, Pratik, ma'am, people mock me because I left government job preparing for officer. Pratik, I'll tell you something. Let people mock you, let people criticize you, let people throw stones at you. Are they paying your bills? Are they feeding you? Are they, taking the breath instead of you? No. You are only doing it for yourself, right? They will say for 1 day and for 2 days. But you keep doing what you're supposed to do, Pratik. That will take you to the next level. Believe me. I'll tell you something. It is okay to get hurted. It is okay to fail. It is okay to be broken also. It is okay to hurt, fail, and get broken. Because there comes a time when you rise, you heal, and you overcome. So now you rise up like a phoenix bird rising from the ashes. Who can stop you? You tell me that. Your determination, dedication, and passion is not going to stop you anywhere. So when you become an officer, these people who mocked you is going to come back and say, come on, we are Pratik's friend. They won't say that Pratik is our friend. They will say, we are Pratik's friend. So now telling that you are their friend and they are your friend has a huge difference. You got the point? So just give it some time. And it is okay to start from scratch also. Even if you were working somewhere else, it's okay. This time when you start from scratch for preparation, you are not starting from zero. You are starting with experience. So learn the lesson, forget the mistake. You got the point? Simple as that. Yes, Ishan, you will clear. Do not worry, Ishan. There is nothing that you can't clear. You convince them and make them understand. Go for a part-time job and get it done through your loan. There are multiple options given by Unacademy to you as well. So that should actually benefit you. Yes, Pratik, you feel okay now? All fine? Are you a plus student? I don't think you're a plus student. If you're a serious aspirant, make sure that you are getting the plus subscription as well. Do not worry. We teachers at Unacademy is there to help you people in the best possible manner. So what else you need? You tell me that. So that is why, guys, I keep coming and telling you, to go for the plus. I'm not jokingly telling, come for plus or do plus for the Unacademy paid platform. There are some reasons to it. Because if you see this year, 170 plus learners, they cleared UPSC examination and they were Unacademy iconic and plus learners. If they can do, why not you people? And from across India, from Delhi, from Kerala, from Chennai, from different parts of the state, the teachers are good in different subjects. You can find them under one single platform and you can study in the comfort of your home. Hadn't you been an offline platform at this 11:15, which offline academy is open for you? Tell me. We are able to provide live classes for you. Even if you want to watch the same class of mine once again, for at 12 o'clock also you can watch the same class. There are options like that. You got the point. So it's unlimited. Not only my class. You can watch n number of classes. You can get n number of notes, lectures. You can prioritize it. So now there are multiple benefits like that. So when we say that, come for the Unacademy paid classes, it's not a joke. Free meals is having a limit, guys. I can give you the editorials here, but the entire weekly current affairs is given and in the weekends in the Plus platform as a batch course. The, prelims facts of the day is given in the Plus platform. The fundamentals of economy, I'm once again starting a class, guys. I've got to tell you, in Namma IS Academy, from tomorrow onwards at 7:30 p.m., I'll be starting fundamentals of economy classes and interlinking the concepts with current affairs towards the end. For the 2022-23 batches in Namma IS Academy YouTube channel, do subscribe and do come. I'll send the notifications in the Telegram and WhatsApp. Don't forget to enroll. Clear? Yes, Aman, ma'am, but ma'am, Unacademy is very expensive. Arre, baapre, come on, don't tell me that. Have you been to any of the offline academies? Because I'm a teacher who have worked and was working in premier institutes. I'm not in favor of anyone, but let me tell you, 1 year you pay 1 lakh rupees. Okay, they've been discounted to 50 to 60,000 for the GS. For options, you need to pay again 30,000 is the thing, but 2025 they are giving discount. Only one subject, one after 20 classes, or maximum 30 classes, or 60 classes you keep. Okay. And every year you keep paying the same thing. For 3 years, you're getting it for just 1,40,000 is a joke or what, including test series. Otherwise, 1,500 rupees per test series you have to pay again. And your hostel charges, your your transport charges. And you cannot get the stuff after one point of time. You're getting everything here now. The paid, the free, and the YouTube classes. Sab kuch you're getting, being a plus student. Sab kuch benefits you're getting. And the batches. What else you need? Yes, Sham, Namma IS Academy naale ki irukku. Aman, tomorrow, kal hai, you have it. I'll put the notification. So now you tell me, Aman, I am using the code Nisha IAS live, you can get discount. Apart from that, you're getting a personal coach. I'll be a personal mentor again because you're using my code. What else you need here? You tell me. Being a UPSC aspirant, continuous motivation, continuous, pushing your people is very important again. That we teachers are doing, not only me. There are many teachers out there, but special attention will be given by me to you because you are my, batch student. That's the thing. Yes, Tejas, ma'am, I want to come for plus, but some standard books I did not cover. Tejas, don't wait. Time doesn't wait for anyone. So does you also shouldn't. See, standard books, what are standard books? You think Unacademy Plus platform is after you covering standard book, you should come? We are even teaching NCRT, chapter wise, we are covering the highlights with the current affairs and stuff. So what is meaning of that? Taking you like a baby from the scratch and molding you to the advanced level. And for you have options to, keep revising every now and then. So now, even if you have not finished, also you should actually start your preparation. Very simple. I suggest you, Tejish, I know you are a regular student in my classes. Go ahead, Tejish, and make sure that you're not missing out. Today is October 20. Tomorrow, what if the price is hiked up? Because Unacademy is having huge demand outside here. I'm not joking. So when that team is offering you better discounts, better fee reductions for the taking into consideration the entire rural India students as well, grab the opportunity, go for loan and take it, Tejish. Why waiting? And you can just contact me for any details that you want with regard to discounts or if you face difficulty in the loan amount or whatever it is. Clear? Yes, Shyam, ma'am, for Group 2 exam, can I learn the Tamil Nadu government books? You can go. You're for TN, you're from Tamil Nadu, Shyam. Just connect with me as well. I'll help you out. For TNPs, you're telling me, na? Yeah. You can go for government, Tamil Nadu, government books you can go. But not for everything. For history, it is okay. But others, I'll prefer you the NCRT. That's better. I can do a little more standard. And you're following UPSC stuff. That will be easy for you. So don't worry. Yes, Prateek? So Pratik, for these individual counseling mentoring sessions that happens in the Plus platform, once you come there, you will feel relaxed and I'll be there for you people. Clear? So nothing to worry. Basically, I told you what is supposed to be told. I hope you feel relaxed as well. Clear? Yes, Tejas, what about you? Feel good? Wow, great to know that. So let me see how many students are coming under my new batch because the new batch has started now. So this year you will be from a different batch of, you'll be from the new batch or let's say different batch where the mentoring, the classes, sub will start. Do not worry. I am there for you people till you clear, UPSC CSE. Clear? One thing you keep, your continuous and your persistence, passion and dedication. That shouldn't be, given up at any point of time. If you do that, you can do wonders. Believe me. Is it very clear, all of you? It was stuck in between actually. Perfect. So I'll see you all tomorrow, guys. So till then, bye-bye. Thank you so much. Take care. Shubhratri, good night and Jai Hind. Okay? So tomorrow it's not Unacademy Articulate. I'll meet you at 7:30 in Namma's Academy. We'll start with the fundamentals of economy with interlinkaging of current affairs. The very first chapter, national income, will start. So get ready for the quick 360-degree coverage and to the point discussion in Namma's Academy. And then at 9:30, we'll have the daily editorial analysis. Clear? And once again, thank you so much for all the love that you have shown for the marathon series. Once again, I've become the top educator for having the highest number of views in marathon in less number of days. So thank you so much for that to all my students. I think I should thank you all for the great support as well. Kabhi it's good to thank the students as well because for the confidence and the kind of hope that you showed in the sessions, especially the last class, the prelims analysis that I did on the last week. It is there in the Unacademy app the YouTube as well, where we were very transparent in the questions and stuffs like that. So thank you for that once again. So I'll see you all for all the sessions, guys. You can follow me. Just Google my name, Nisha Nujumudeen. You get all my details, be it Telegram, Insta, whatever it is. You can follow me there and get in touch with me. And also join my Telegram channel, Nisha Nujumudeen at Unacademy for UPSC for all the updates. Clear? So thank you so much. Good night. Jai Hind.